What's up, everybody? This is Fishers of Men. Season 2 of The Wheel of Time is set to air soon, and I only ever made one video about the first season, despite having grand plans about making all sorts of them. Well, that is changing tonight, because I want to talk about the cold open that bothered me the most. So I am, in this fairly short video, going to go over what I didn't like about it, and how I would fix it. Because hey, who wants to listen to me just complain the whole time? I had problems with a lot of the cold opens in the show, I'm not gonna lie. And the first season as a whole really disappointed me. I disliked the ways that it strayed from the books, and I didn't think it was a good adaptation of the source material overall. I also, just in general, didn't think it turned out to be a good show. But I did watch the whole thing, and while I've already made a video about the cold open of episode 8, I think the cold open of episode 7 bothered me even more. So let's talk about it. If you don't know by me just saying the episode 7 cold open, and you also maybe don't know by the thumbnail, which would be surprising to me, the cold open to episode 7 is where we see Rand's mother, pregnant and giving birth to him on the side of a mountain, while fighting multiple armed men. So let me start by saying this. I will actually give it credit for the way that it's shot. I think that just on a purely visual level, not getting into choreography or realism or anything like that, the fight itself looked cool. And I've seen a lot of comments online about, how can she fight like that if she's pregnant? That's not how pregnant people move. How can she beat multiple armed people? And then people on the other side saying, well, duh, it's fantasy. It's not supposed to be realistic. Those comments and that argument aren't really what I want to get into in this video. But let me just say real quick, I do think it's goofy that a pregnant woman is flipping all over the place, beating all sorts of armed men. And while I get that she's Aiel, she's still not superhuman. I also think the, well, it's just fantasy argument is absolutely stupid, because fantasy is still grounded in the real world most of the time. If you take that argument to its furthest extreme, it makes no sense. If she jumped to the sun, grabbed some energy, and threw it at the soldiers and they melted, would they still be saying, oh, it's just fantasy, it's fine? Because I doubt it. Anyways, like I said, that's not really what I want to talk about right now. What I want to talk about is the fact that she never wears her veil while she's killing. Now, if you're watching this video, I assume that you've probably read The Wheel of Time, because most of the people that don't like The Wheel of Time show are the people that have actually read the books. But in case you haven't and you're just checking this video out, the Aiel are a really cool culture within The Wheel of Time. They've got a lot of different stuff about them that is solely unique to them. And one of these things is that they always veil their face when they're killing. It's something that they always mention. There's sayings within the world about not wanting to meet a veiled Aiel. And if I recall correctly, even Thom the Gleeman, within the show, said that you don't want to meet one with his veil up. It is a massive part of their culture, so much so that no Aiel would ever kill someone without their veil up. It just wouldn't happen. They would literally die first. And so when we get this scene of a woman who, if you know the lore, technically wasn't born Aiel, but has trained with them and obviously learned how to fight like them, and abides by their rules, and within the scene she kills multiple people, but yet she never puts her veil up, it turns into a lore problem pretty quick. You can't have someone say that you don't want to be around a veiled Aiel if they don't wear their veils while they kill. And even if in the future, every time we see an Aiel and every time they kill someone they wear a veil, there was still this point where they didn't. And that makes it seem less important if you don't know the lore behind it. So first, let me hit up a little bit of the lore without going too deep into spoiler territory. Basically, at one time, the Aiel were peaceful. They didn't fight and they didn't kill. But then at one point, a group of them killed some people to save some of their family members. And because of it, their family basically disowns them. I had to get my book out so I could read the exact words. Basically, this guy has just been disowned by his family and he's trying to get his mother to look at him. And she says to him, "Who are you that addresses me so? Hide your face from me, stranger. I had a son once with a face like that. I do not wish to see it on a killer." And so basically the reason that they veil their faces, the reason that they hide their faces, goes all the way back to this event. It's hugely important within their cultural history. And the writers of the show have really just kind of crapped all over it. And I don't really get how you can argue that it in any way makes the show better that she's not veiling her face. I think the most common comment I've seen, and even the things that I've seen from some prominent Wheel of Time YouTubers, is that it doesn't bother them because they want to see the actress emote. They want to see her act. And I get why they're making this argument, but honestly I think it's just cope. Because there are tons of examples of actors or actresses wearing masks and acting just fine. The only part of her face that would be covered would be like her nose to her mouth. You'd still be able to see her eyes. You'd still be able to see any motions she made. Man, they could have even made it to where the veils weren't completely opaque, so you could still see her mouth. But if you look back over the years, there are lots of examples of actors giving great performances while wearing masks. Hugo Weaving in V for Vendetta, Tom Hardy as Bane in The Dark Knight Rises, Immortan Joe in Fury Road. Even the majority of the superheroes in all the Marvel and DC movies are masked most of the time. Which actually brings me to how I would fix this scene if it was up to me. And I'm not talking fixing choreography or anything like that. I'm specifically talking about the veiling of the Aiel. Because look, if the decision was that we have to be able to see her face and be able to see all the pain that she's in as she's giving birth, there's an easy way to do that and have her veiled every time she's killing someone. And it's to have her literally pull it up every time she kills someone. Like, just think about it and think about how much better that would be. Basically, the way they have it now, they're saying it's not important that they veil up, it's just a thing that some of them do. You know, it's not this huge, significant thing for them. But if you changed it to have her jumping around and fighting and screaming and groaning, all with it down, and then at the very last second, she pulls it up going in for the kill, that shows two things. First, this is a super important act to her. With all this stuff going on, she still finds the time to pull up the veil. That tells the audience, especially the audience who hasn't read the books, that this is a big deal. And then you're able to carry that on into Season 2, where you meet more Aiel and they veil up when they kill people. Second, it also makes her an even better fighter, because she knows the exact moment and openings that she is able to kill someone and she pulls up her veil just in time. In my opinion, that's the best way to do it. That way you appease all of the people who want to see the actress act, and apparently don't think she's talented enough to do it with half her face covered, and you stay true to the book. And really at the end of the day, that's all I want in this instance, is for them to just stay a little truer to the book. And I don't think that's too much for a fan to ask. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think that idea of having her pull it up right before she kills every time would work? Or do you think that's not practical or not worth it? Do you find the Aiel not being veiled as big of a problem as I do? Or is it something that, like I've seen a lot of other people say, doesn't bother you? I am eager to see what you guys have to say. Thanks for watching this video. Like and subscribe if you want to. Maybe check out one of my other videos. I do plan on doing more Season 2 content as Season 2 releases. Thanks so much for watching. I know there are millions of other channels and videos that you could have gone and watched, and the fact that you've taken the time to watch mine is not lost on me. So again, thank you. I'm Fishers of Men, and I will talk to you later.